Hello, good morning, everyone. This is Zenith with Gardening Mindfully. I'm here in Jamaica looking at a beautiful plant nursery with Wayne, and we're going to go through and look at a few plants. And my very favorite plant at Christmas time in Jamaica is a Euphorbia that's very similar to the poinsettia.
Right.
What I like about this plant is during the holiday season, it turns snow white, and that was my dad's favorite plant. So I'm going to show you the plant. I'm going to have Wayne talk to you about the plant and just whatever else he wants to talk about.
Hello. Good morning. We have a nice garden in Jamaica. We have a year-round plants that can grow within the winter, summer, all season because of the climate that we have. So most of our plants are basically perennials. They are not annuals. We grow a little annuals here and there just for quick beauty, but most of our plant lives over 2 years and beyond. So at times we have a lot of plants going, whether it's raining or it's sun or it's dry or it doesn't matter. But we do have plants year round. So
And for us, a lot of the plants that are perennials here in
Yes,
Jamaica, they're
right.
annuals for us because of the cold.
because of the wind,
Right. So for me, if I want to grow these plants year round, I have to take them indoors and grow them inside.
yes, for
Yeah.
some because the climate, sometimes it's too dampy for some of the plant. But most of the plant need more light. Not direct heat from the sun, but light. So it have to have great light for the plant food collection,
Correct.
which is known as photosynthesis. But the truth is, the heat also help to develop the body of the plant, the root of the plant. So sometimes some of the plant need heat. When you grow these plants in cool, what you will have is they will have softer branch. So as soon as you know, like something should accidentally touch the branch, it will break. So the sun really helps it to be more stern and stronger.
More hardy.
To more hardy.
Yeah, and they can withstand disease and anything.
Right,
Correct.
because we're like, the fungus is concerned, we have a lot of fungus in the damp time. So the heat help to burn the fungus out.
Right.
But of course, you know, we still enjoy it. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
you know,
yeah. Okay, great.
Whether in the rain or in the sun, it's
right.
still enjoyable.
Thanks, Wayne.
You're welcome.
Okay, so this plant here, Wayne, you're saying this is a Euphorbia. So
Right.
tell us a little bit more about this.
The Euphorbia has a wide variety of plants. You have the poinsettia, which at this time of year also it turns red. We call it 6-month red and 6-month green in Jamaica. In early days, you know, everywhere you go, you have commonly known names of a plant, but there are always a botanical name to each plant. But what they do, as we said, they group plants together. So you have the poinsettia, you have what we call the crown of thorn, which they said they use to crown Jesus.
Yeah, and this is the crown of thorn. The botanical name is Euphorbia millii.
Right. But as I said, you will find commonly known name to different parts of the world. So even in Jamaica, we Westmoreland people will have a different common name to the St. Elizabeth or to the Clarendon or wherever. So throughout the world, you might have different names, but it's a Euphorbia. It's from that group. The Euphorbia tend to have a milk, and somehow it's not toxic. It's not something. If you get the milk too much all over your hands and body, it can create some bumps. It can be allergic.
It gives you like a rash.
Right.
Okay.
So we have some other plant like the monkey figure.
What is that one? I'm not
which is
sure
the
what it is.
Steelanthus.
Where is that? Do
let
you
me
have
see.
one?
There are plenty. Oh, let me see if I see any. I don't
What does
see
it
any.
look like?
You know, it's cat figure. You rub it together and it gives you like a squeaky sound.
Oh,
Right.
that's okay. I
Some
know what
people
that
call it
is.
cat figure. Some people call it monkey figure. But see, here is one. Here is one.
We call it devil's
As I tell
backbone.
you, we all have different commonly known name. But if you snap a little piece here, you would see a little milky.
Is a sap?
Yes, a little sappy milk that comes from it. It also comes from the euphorbia, the poinsettia.
Okay, yes.
And as I said before, if you get this on your skin too much, it can create a little rash, and it's a little bit uncomfortable. So some of the plants, from time to time, for some people, they will say it's allergic.
Right.
Allergy. It gives you
allergic reaction.
John, right. But sometimes it doesn't harm you, me, and what harm you doesn't harm the others. So we use these plants sometimes for security purpose. When we are doing planting garden, you know, we use them for height. For some of them can work for privacy.
Correct.
And some do work at a security purpose. You know, some people, we use them to deterrent. Each species of plant come with a wide variety. So if you look at a poinsettia, you have poinsettia that's red, poinsettia that turn white, poinsettia that turn yellow, poinsettia that turn yellow and white, and it's a mixture. And then it's the same thing with the crown of thorn. There are a wide variety of crown of thorn. Colors, size, what you call miniature. We have what you call dwarf, medium, and regular.
But they're also double blooms.
Blooms, triple blooms. And when you hear some words like floribunda, when they are not able to count the flowers to say it's a double, triple, or 5, or when the flowers bloom is inconsistent. In other words, sometimes you have plants, you have a flowering plant that will give you 100 flowers. Then the other time it gives you 20, 15. When it's inconsistent, they refer to it as flowers in abundance. More than one.
Correct.
But because they cannot keep it in a count of saying every time this is 5. But when you can keep the count 1, 2, 3, you say single, double, triple.
Okay.
And it goes on like that. But when it's inconsistent, so you will hear the same reference to a plant over and over to another plant, and you may be getting a little bit confused. But it's just to understand why. Right. So if you understand the different terminology, you will look for it. When you hear floribunda, you're gonna look for the flowers in a bundle.
Right, in abundance.
Or bungle or something like that.
Right.
More than one.
Right.
When you hear double, you look for 2. When you hear triple, you look for 3. And it goes on and goes on and on.
Right.
But
that's awesome.
It's very, very nice.
I love what you're doing here. And this is just a roadside nursery, folks.
Right.
So you're driving along the street and everybody can see it, and he has it on both sides of the street.
Right.
And so this here is Torenia.
Torenia.
Okay, Torenia. Yes. Right. And this one plant for me, it dries out easily. Right. And if it goes without water, it almost never comes back. It cannot get too dry for me.
Right, that's true. We have to keep cutting and sticking. When the flowers bloom heavily like this, most time those plants died. Okay. But when the plant bloom and rest means, take for instance annuals, Torenia, but annuals like marigold, zinnia, those plants bloom continuously
all year round. Yes.
No, until it dies.
Until it dies. Okay.
Because the bloom takes away from the plant.
It's taking energy, nutrients from the plant.
It doesn't give, but the leaves give to the plant and take from the plant. So the leaves work for the plant, but the bloom does not. It just takes. That's why if the plants continue to bloom, you will lose it. So the plant, take for instance the bigger plants like the bougainvillea, the hibiscus, those plants rest. So they bloom. There's a blooming season when they bloom heavily, but there's a time when they rest. You doesn't get much blooms out of them. Right. Unless you're gonna have a feeding program where you always constantly feeding them.
So do you feed any? Do you put any fertilizer or anything?
We do, but we try to use less fertilizer. What we use is more natural things.
Like compost.
Right. Okay. From the cane field, from our leftover food and peeling and leaves and all those debris, but not. We try not to use too much of the ammonia.
Synthetic.
Right, because it burns the soil.
Okay.
And the animals, like the worm, doesn't like them. So when we use more natural stuff, we get the worms keep alive, and the more the worms in the soil is the more it builds the soil.
Right, because what the worms also does is that it aerates the soil, so
right,
air is able to travel
that
up
is
and
so
down.
Perfect. That is so when you use like sulfate of ammonia, which is salt, because it burns the worms, they leave the soil, and the soil lose all that help that the worms and other animals would give it.
And I think sometimes, people miss that because they want the plants to grow so fast.
Right.
And so they want that immediate impact,
but
and we're not taking care of the soil.
Good. I have no quarrel against fertilizer. It's very, very important, especially for your agriculture product, from my point of view, to get things going. We are not going to be able to. Sometimes it all depends. If you have a settings that you're saying, okay, you have a guest house, you want your flowers to look good within the next 2 months because it's Christmas and it's party time, then it's best to use the fertilizer to feed it so you can get that out of it.
Immediate impact.
Right, the immediate impact.
So I was asking Wayne about which plant I should get. Should I get this one in this size pot? Or if I should get this one? What were you saying again, Wayne, about the difference between whether I should get this small one or this one?
The bigger container gives you a more root system. A
larger root system.
So it's a stronger plant compared when it's into a smaller container. But we use the container to keep the price down.
Okay.
The container, the price is less compared to the bigger container. So that's what we try to do.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Thank you so very much, Wayne. I really do appreciate it. And I'll come back and I'll see you.
And thank you very much, too, Paige. And I'm very happy to have you as one of our own villagers.
Yes.
So we are very glad to know you can come back again and see something nice.
Okay.
That you left off.
Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks so very much for watching, everyone, and happy holidays.